Hello everybody, welcome to Hat Creek Farm. Today we're going to do a little bit of maintenance on our tractor, on our 04 3000. We're going to change a fuel filter and show y'all how to do that. Alright, y'all hang on, I'll be back. Alright, we got everything set up here. I'm going to show you somewhat. Sound like the chickens are singing. Alright, I'm going to show you somewhat how to change these filters out and bleed them. Alright, first of all, we're going to take this old one out. Make sure that your fuel is shut off first of all. Alright, now we're going to take this top bolt loose. I always like to have that handy to catch any diesel fuel as it comes out. Not that I want to reuse it, it's just that I don't want it on the ground there and making a mess, causing a fire hazard. Get back in place. Hopefully it'll stay. Hopefully you can see. There's probably going to be very little fuel come out of this thing. Hopefully it's going to get enough of it. This thing has a never had to, there we go, pull that out. I'm going to catch the rest of it now. It's going to be quite a few come out, a little bit come out. Oh, those things are pretty full. There's a little bit of sediments in there. That tells me that the filter was doing its job. See there? The sediments it caught in there. There's the bottom O-ring. Clean it out. Still got a little diesel, but not like I would have if I hadn't. There's nothing to it. This is a track fuel filter. Been on there for a little while, but it still looks pretty good there. Alright. Clean it up. Wipe this off. Cleaned it up a little. There's that top O-ring goes in there. or bottom O-ring, I should say. And the bottom of this thing out a little. Splashed a little fuel all over that. And I'm just changing one of these filters, folks, because if this first filter right here is doing this job, then there's no need to change the second one. I will change that one next time. Vice versa. It saves on filters, and like I said, you shouldn't have to change. If this first filter is doing this job, and it was, because you saw all the sediments that was down in this bowl. Get that wiped off good. Let's get down here and check. That O-ring. Got to get it off. O-ring up and under here, folks. I gotta wipe all that down. Bunch of trash that gets up and under here. If I can get my knife up in there to get that O-ring out. There it is. And there's the two O-rings that comes out right there. All right. Get these O-rings out of here. There's the top one and the bottom one. Oh, I might have to get that top one out up here too. Alright. I'll be back. Alright folks, I'm back. I had to go get my little picks. And these little picks are really worth their money. I think I gave like, oh, I don't know, 92 cents or something like that at Harbor Freight for a pack of 5 of them. They are very, very well worth their money that I gave for them. Very worth it. There we go. Now, there's the other one that came out right there. Oops, I'll knock you all over. And then I just try to wipe any trash I can out of there. Somewhat. However, it should be clean because that O-ring just came out. Okay, so these are the 3 O-rings. 3 O-rings that goes in there, people. And they do come with that kit, filter kit. So, let's see. And they are right here. Getting a little fuel out of there still. Alright, this one, if y'all remember, I dug out from right here. Just make sure that it's up in the groove, like so. I always like to put a bit of diesel fuel on there, simply because it has got oil in it and it lubricates. It just keeps it from rolling up. It just keeps it from rolling up. Okay, I dropped the other 2 down here. So, you remember, one goes in here. Like so. And diesel fuel on it. And that part will sit right there, like so. Like that. Woo, I'm gonna knock y'all over yet. And this one goes up in there, like so. Keeps it from drying out. And let's get our bolt. Whoa, don't drop it. That would have been good. Knock this bolt off on the end right here. And right in there. Sometimes them things come with O-ring go around that. That one didn't have one. And you can tell the difference in them. Make sure that is sucking air. Alright, now I want to dry that off a little. Put these old ones back in here. And you might say, folks, might say, well, why are you saving that old one? Well, you never know. One of these may go to leaking. I know those weren't leaking. So, one may go to leaking. Never know. Okay. Let's get some of this out of the way here. A little bit of this out of the way. All right, now I'm gonna move you in a little closer and show you what I'm gonna do here. Try to see if I can get this light from being right in the way where you can't see anything. But at the same time, I'm gonna turn the fuel back on. Let's see. Don't see any leaks so far because we may not have no fuel down there. So what we're gonna do, let's see. I had get my crescent wrench. It's hard to do with a crescent wrench, but you've got these others in the way. But it can be done to bleed it. All right, folks, for y'all's information, the bolt on the wrench, the bolt on the filter takes a 7/16, and the bleeder nut that's on there on the top of the filter, which is located right here, is a 1/2 inch. I have it loose already, and I haven't even seen a bubble yet. Well, I'm gonna go to pumping. I see some bubbles. Once we get these bubbles, should be seeing some fuel shortly.
But it has taken several minutes before any fuel has gotten up there. But I do see bubbles. I will blow it up a little bit for y'all and let y'all see. Hopefully you can see these bubbles coming out. Hopefully you can see these bubbles. As I pump this butterfly on the side. There we go. See the fuel coming out? That means we have got that thing filled up, folks. So, and some of you may say, are you not afraid that that will blow up around that light? Well, folks, diesel fuel is only flammable if you have a spark. Heat will not make it ignite. You can pour diesel fuel on a fire and it will smoke like the dickens. It will not ignite, it will just smoke like the dickens. I'll wipe this thing off a little bit so I don't think there's a leak somewhere, and there's not. And these are CAV filters, folks. CAV filters, if you can see on the side there. But y'all saw that bleeding process right there. Well, I'm gonna check, make sure that I do not have any leaks there. And did not change that filter, but do I want to check it anyway? Yes, I want to check it anyway. And some of you may say, well, why check it? You didn't get any air in it. Well, might have. And you see, it drained it too. There we go. All she needed was that one little shot. And there comes the filter. I mean the fuel. I can't quit thinking about filters. But that's what I'm doing, changing filters. So I guess that's why I got it on my mind, my little old feeble mind. And Ben, I've got a little old feeble mind. You know what I'm talking about? I'm getting old, and I've got a little old feeble mind. Wipe these off here too. Make sure I don't have any leaks again. Like I said. Don't see any down there. There's a little bit, but I think it's where it ran down. I'll wipe that off. All right, now for the injectors. And this is the aggravating part because there are batteries in your way. Battery. Big old battery right here is in the way. But you can't crank it without the battery. Got to have a battery. Let's see if I can get you up here where you can see, folks. All right, so I went over this with you. May not be able to see on that side. I'm going through the details, still checking for leaks as I go along. Excuse me. Should have brought my magnetic light, but I didn't. All right. Like I said earlier, folks, the filter bolt down here which is right there, is a 7/16. And the bleeder bolt, which is right here, is a 1/2 inch. So for anybody that has those, needs to know that information. I'm gonna get y'all over here, I think. Let's see. Y'all watch out that I don't make you dizzy. But I'm just gonna get y'all over here. It's just a better view. I think it's a better view. Zoom in a little. Just a little better view. All right. So the injectors are, for y'all's information, are 5/8. So I'm gonna go in here, and the one that is closest to the filter is the one they say to bleed. And that's simply because that is the number 1. That's the one that provides your cranking. So I'm gonna crack it a little bit here. See if we can get. Can't get nothing out of it, can we? I'm gonna crack it a little bit right there though. See. And they say to rotate this engine over with the fuel shut off where it won't crank. And it might anyway, folks. We're gonna see what happens. See if we get any fuel out of there. You don't see nothing coming out yet? We fix to try. This is hard to do by yourself because you gotta lean over here and look. Make sure it's in neutral. Pulls off. Ain't up there yet. I better try to crank. She did. She spurted her out there that time, didn't she? Yep. Oh. Don't over tighten these. You can strip them. But there again, you don't want to under tighten them either. you'll know the point. You'll know the point. Just tighten it snug and then one little bitty pull. All right. I don't see any leaks. Let's fire up. What goes wrong here? I believe we have success. Dry this off once more. Fire back up again. Let it run a little bit. Make sure it's not leaking. Didn't loosen any of those up, but I like to check, make sure that I'm thinking just the same. All right. I believe we have success. No leaks. I'm gonna have to replace those rubber lines on there before long because those lines get brittle after a while. I don't want to mess with them and get them started leaking. But I'm gonna have to replace those soon. That'll be my next, excuse me. That will be my next project is doing that. Excuse the battery, the view of the battery, I should say. All right, and next time, next filter that will be changed will be this one, because like I said, there's no sense in putting two on there, because if this one is doing his job, then this one right here is clean, should be clean. Now this one we'll get it next time, and I'll just alternate. I'll write the date on this one with a marker right in here somewhere where it won't get worn off. Write the date on it. which would be obvious because this one is the newer one. I mean, but still, I'll write the date on it. And when I change this one, I'll write the date on it. And that just helps you keep up with it when it was last changed. And it's just a good practice to have, that way you don't forget, because like I said, being my old feeble mind, my little feeble mind, I tend to forget stuff like that. Oh, wipe my wrenches off a little bit now. And get them back in here. Well, there you go. Gotta get me a wrench organizer, folks, but my little small toolbox I keep here is not very big, so don't really have a lot of room for a lot of stuff. So I use a piece of copper wire hooked together to hold my wrenches together, both metric and standard. These are my standard set. This old tractor needs to be cleaned up before hay season, but as you can see by the tires and by what's on the back of it, you can see what I've been doing. I had to get bearings for that old disc back there, folks. Had to get bearings for it, and let me tell you something. Those things are hard to find. Bearings for a disc. That's a King Cutter disc. But one thing that sets it apart from all the other King Cutter discs of today is, now listen to this. It's a 1980 model. So 1980, and it's 2024. That's an old disc. That is an old disc. Again, checking again, no leaks. And matter of fact, I think the old tractor even starts better. I think the old tractor even starts and runs better. Okay. I'll probably add a few little videos here at the end of this one, just of some great times with the grandkids on here with this old tractor, just like my grandpa did me. I enjoy riding them on there, because my grandpa enjoyed riding me on an old Ford 2000. And so you might well say I grew up with these old Ford tractors. So if y'all will, please like, subscribe, and comment. If y'all will, please like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed the video. I plan on making a few more here in the near future. Maybe some about disking. Maybe even some baling hay. So if you will, please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching. And have a blessed day.